Hello and welcome to the Forest Creek podcast. I'm Raphael, otherwise known as Raph, as you may have heard here on the show. I wish you all a warm winter holiday and fond memories in the company of your family and friends. I hope you're all staying inside. Things have gotten considerably stormy here in British Columbia, in the greater Vancouver area. We've had Arctic winds from the north just blowing down on us. And it's gotten particularly dangerous to drive around Christmas time. In fact, in about an hour, as has been forecasted, we're supposed to be hit by a winter storm that is going to freeze everybody. We're talking about like negative 14 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, if there's any Americans listening to this, but it's cold. It's very cold. If everything freezes at zero, we're now 14 below that. The winter holidays are always a lovely time to look back on the year, look back on what you have, reflect, have some gratitude for it, and I'm pretty grateful that I get to do this. I get to talk to you. I mean, I get to do it's not like somebody gave me the opportunity to do it. I just seized the opportunity. I spent the last few years just learning about podcasts and learning how to do this and assembling a studio and trying to build up the skills, and I'm definitely a lot farther now than where I started with, but also definitely have a lot more to learn. You may have noticed if you look at any of the numbers beside our stuff that, we're in the low double digits. There's like 10 people might listen to this, which is fine, by the way. I actually almost prefer it at this point. I like a little bit of that freedom that comes with almost nobody listening to this show, and almost a sense of safety that everything will be fine. At the very most, if I ever embarrass myself here, like 6 people will know. All the same, it would be cool to see this little cult, this exclusive club, grow. Don't hesitate to share it. If you like any of the stuff that we made, if you think it's fun, if you think it's interesting, share it with your friends. Share it with your friends and family. I think we have like 3 grandmas that listen to this show now. It would be nice to have an audience that's a little bit more diverse. I think some people might have even been led astray. One of the most popular things that we did here over the year that I'm very grateful for is we sat down with Father Anthony Paul, who was a priest in my church for quite some time, and he's left pretty much just after we recorded that, but it was a pleasure to do that, and a lot of people who knew him wanted to listen to the show, and I'm grateful that they were on, and a little bit sad that they haven't kept up. But it's not for everybody. We did a lot of movie reviews. I think that's the thing that comes easiest to us. Andres AD loves movies, and I do too, and so does Jared. We're all more or less in the video business now, so when it comes to talking about movies, that's probably some of the easiest source material there is. But we're interested in a lot of things. We're interested in philosophy and religion, and like you probably know now, we're interested in science. We're interested in self-help stuff. We did a podcast on that as well. I'm certainly interested in popping back on here and doing a few more solo episodes like this and just talking about literary pieces. Prometheus Bound has been on my list for quite a while now. I've been threatening to do an episode about it, and I think I will, although that might be in February. We have a lot of exciting stuff. This will be probably the 20th podcast I put out for the Forest Creek. I had other failed podcast brands before, or at least stuff that never really took off. I'm not even sure if it's still up on the internet. Maybe I forgot to take it down, although it's unlikely that you'll find it. We also have a few video sketches. There are video sketches, a couple seasons of video sketches dating all the way back to when I first started the Forest Creek while I was working for Evolution 1079 at BCIT. That's part of the curriculum, is that you work for that radio station, which was really cool. You get to learn a lot of stuff, but also I far more appreciate the freedom I have here. But yeah, there's sketches, video sketches, very short, little jelly bean sketches, short, sweet, funny, and they're very easy to just binge. You should do that. You should binge them. Binge them right now. Just go to the youtube.com/@therealforestcreek and you can find all the podcasts and, well, most of the podcasts and the videos up there. We're battling YouTube some of the time for the stuff that we make. Should be okay. I think we'll be fine. How hilarious would it be if we got banned completely, just deplatformed, 3 strikes, before we've even reached like 40 subscribers? Speaking of which, subscribe. There's a lot of passers-by that check us out on Instagram, that might tap onto our YouTube. We're a little group. Your subscription to us is far more valuable than it is to any of the people on TikTok. Or anywhere else, really. So, support us. I'll be out there standing next to the Santa Clauses for Salvation Army ringing bells. Can I get a like? Can I get a sub? It's the time to give, so, share it. We have cool stuff coming. I do promise that. We say it like every episode, but I seriously mean it. Cool stuff is coming. We do have things that we are editing even now that we're going to release, and more podcasts planned. And we're moving into a whole other realm here. We're also going to be taking the Forest Creek to service businesses, ministries, products, services, people that need videos, people that need media to help promote their business, to help promote what they are doing. We would love to get involved in making that stuff, and we are happy to say that we will be making the first few pieces of media for free. That's right, it will be pro bono, as they say. So if you know somebody, or if you are somebody with, again, a product, service, ministry, or business that would like a podcast interview, or a documentary, or an advertisement, product showcase, or a real estate video of some kind, we would love to get involved in making things for you. We're a small group of guys. We're a tight team of professional operators. We've been doing this stuff as a hobby for a long time, and in fact doing it for work for a considerably long time. And if you've seen our stuff, you'd know that we can do a lot with a little. So that's definitely something we look forward to working a lot more with in the new year, in 2023. Speaking of New Year's, we are excited to be putting together a New Year's show. A friend of mine is going to be hosting a New Year's party, and we thought it would be a fun idea to steal a room in his house at the time and set up there, and people will be coming in and out of this podcast telling us about their New Year's resolutions. We'll try to make it work. It's ambitious. It's definitely ambitious, and I've tried doing stuff like that before that hasn't worked out, but I'm gonna give it a go. I'll give it a shot, see how it works out. We'll look forward to growing a lot of things. We're designing new logos, we're designing a website, we're getting ready to launch the business side of things, we're planning a ton more podcasts and videos, like I said before. The network is always growing, in terms of the people that we know that are linking up with us to help us, and it would be really cool to see those numbers grow as well. We'd love to reach more people. We'd love to build a little community. Like I said, expand the cult. It's a fun, exclusive club right now, but it would be even more fun, as I say, it would be merrier with more. The more the merrier. So check us out. Instagram is my favorite place to communicate with you. At the Forest Creek, you'll see the little tree with the microphone in it, our current logo. We're also on Twitter under the same name, a few other places as well. Spotify is my favorite place to release the podcasts, but you can also find them on Google Podcasts. We're working on getting on Apple, but the process is a little bit more difficult there, so it'll come eventually. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/@therealforestcreek, as I mentioned, and coming soon, www.theforestcreekweb.com. It's in progress, but when it drops, we'll let you know, and you'll be able to read about all of our content and our services there. If you're interested in getting in touch with us, just to tell us what you thought about our work, to propose ideas about stuff that we could talk about here on the podcast, videos that we could make, or if you'd like to get in touch with us for media regarding your business, services, products, ministries, etc., you can reach us at theforestcreek@gmail.com. That's another cool thing that we get to do since we're small. Does Joe Rogan ever give you his email? No. But at theforestcreek@gmail.com, you can have our email. Now, without further ado, I actually did bring something to share with you, a poem. This poem is known as The Night Before Christmas, but it's actually titled A Visit from St. Nicholas. It was written by Clement Clarke Moore in 1822, and it's a very famous Christmas poem, as it's what kind of solidifies the Santa lore, the way that we understand Santa. It's one of the most popular Christmas poems of all time. So here it is. I'm glad to be sharing it with you. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in the hopes that St. Nicholas would soon be there. The children were nestled, all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap, when out on the lawn there arose such a clatter. I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment he must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, and Comet on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all, as leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur, from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry! His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up in a bow, and the beard on his chin was white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed, like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings. Then he turned with a jerk, and laying a finger aside of his nose, and gave a nod, and up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, and to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew, like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night."